All right, welcome to the show. It's Wrestling Uncensored, Smackdown post-show for July 9th, 2021. Tonight on the show, a couple guys qualify for Money in the Bank. Bayley injured, and Jimmy Uso, despite his arrest, shows up on Smackdown. Yeah. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm Dave. There's Johnny. What's up, Johnny?
Well, just a big thank you to you and the tech team for allowing me to be here. I had some problems making it there, but thank you guys for making it happen. And in the end, not as bad as SmackDown as I saw last time, but still not great. I'm not a fan of these like endless rematches that we see every week. But I do like the Roman Reigns stuff. I think that's the best stuff we see in WWE right now.
Meh. I don't love the Roman Reigns stuff, and I do notice you're sounding a little bit different. I guess you had some sort of crash. Something crashed on your end, John? A laptop died or something?
Yeah, laptop died. I don't think WWE likes it when I post bad stuff about them on Twitter, so
Wow.
Maybe they put an end to that.
Yeah, well, maybe you should be nicer to the WWE, John. Of course, that's what we do every Friday night here. We're super nice to the WWE. We talk about pro wrestling. It's Wrestling Uncensored. Every wrestling show that happens, we are here for you right afterwards, despite some of the comments in the chat that I do see. I'm not even going to mention them. John, I'm sure you've seen some of the comments in the chat. People being very rude.
Sometimes.
Yeah, people being very rude in the chat already. I'm going to give a shout-out to certain people in the chat. Shout-out to Lauren Cronish. Shout-out to Franco316. Shout-out to Dino Steaks. Shout-out to Bob Cote. Shout-out to Doug Hepburn, of course, who's a member of the team. And those people only.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to check the comments later. I don't see the comments right now, so I'll have to see it later, I suppose.
Well, somebody was not shouted out, and they know why. All right?
Is it AJ?
No, it's not AJ. AJ's not on the chat yet. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We got a lot of pro wrestling to get to. Yes, Jimmy Uso was arrested this week for another drunk driving charge. Another arrest in Florida, and I was a little bit surprised to see him show up tonight. We'll get to that. Bayley, I guess, is hurt. And really hurt, I guess. Seems like.
Bad, yeah, torn ACL.
Yeah, so that's disappointing. So Bayley's going to be out for about 9 months. And Carmella is stepping in to take on Bianca Belair next Friday night on SmackDown for the SmackDown Women's title. A lot of news coming out of SmackDown this week. A lot of stuff happened, you know? We saw the debut of Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart. Welcome. We saw two people qualify for Money in the Bank. Of course, Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins. We saw a promo video for Toni Storm, who's going to debut on SmackDown at some point in the future. We saw Bayley is injured. She's out. Carmella is in the title match, not at Money in the Bank next week. It'll be on SmackDown next Friday, which will be the first WWE show back in front of a live touring audience. They are back. They are touring. Tonight was the final SmackDown in the Thunderdome. And Bianca and Carmella, one of the big matches they have for next week. That one for the SmackDown Women's title. Liv Morgan replacing Carmella in the Money in the Bank match. Also next week on SmackDown, they set up Kevin Owens versus Big E versus Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a fatal four-way match. The four guys for SmackDown that have qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match just 2 days before the pay-per-view. WWE Money in the Bank, the go-home week, will be next week. One more episode of Raw and SmackDown before we get to Money in the Bank. Lauren Cronish says, I have an old desktop if you want, Johnny, free. Maybe get in touch with Lauren Cronish somehow, John. Get you a new PC.
Possibly. I mean, mine still will work one day, I think. But I appreciate that.
All right. Patrick C. Hamilton sponsoring the show. Thank you, Patrick. Don't forget to become a member of the team. Click that join button right beneath me. If you're watching on YouTube, support the channel. Hit us up on Super Chat. Do whatever you can do. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Help us out. Leave a comment. Keep the Ringside Report Network going strong. I'll be back here tomorrow for a big show. UFC 264 watch along with Freddie and AJ, the Ringside Report MMA team. We're going to be watching Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern right here on the Ringside Report Network with you. Shout out to Anthony out in London. Good morning, Anthony. Good luck to you, my friend, and all the English national team supporters on Sunday for the big Euro Cup final against Italy. I know AJ, my boy AJ, cheering for Italy, but I'm assuming Anthony out in London cheering for England. England-Italy Euro Cup final on Sunday. Of course, Saturday night we have the UFC, Conor McGregor. Let's get to some professional wrestling, though, Johnny North. Top of the show, we have Roman Reigns in the ring with Paul Heyman talking about not being scared of Edge. And then Jimmy Uso shows up, and he's like, why weren't you there last week, Roman, to help me when I got beat up by Edge? And Roman's like, I wasn't there because I was doing your job. And then here comes Jimmy Uso, and Jimmy Uso seems to be back in the fold. I guess Roman went to get Jay Uso is back. And Jay Uso wants to be tag team champions with his brother Jimmy. And I guess Roman went to get Jay last week, and that's why he wasn't on SmackDown. He went to convince Jay to come back with the family, and they should all stick together, and then they hugged. You like this, John? What did I miss that you enjoyed about this whole long family gathering?
Well, I just like that Roman, he needs backup to beat Edge. And he made sure he got the backup he needs. He's going to need to make it 3-on-1 to beat Edge because right now Edge is kind of unstoppable. It's a good story. I think obviously Roman's going to win at Money in the Bank or retain the championship somehow, but now it's going to make sense. Like Edge is going to have to face an army. He's not going to win because of that. But they might stretch this all the way to SummerSlam because if Cena can't make it now for SummerSlam, maybe Edge and Roman goes all the way to SummerSlam.
Is there a thought that Cena won't be at SummerSlam?
Apparently there's a movie he's filming next month. So, that throws everything off with him, right? Because that's number one priority. It's not wrestling.
You're really going to do a rematch from Money in the Bank at SummerSlam?
I mean, isn't every show a rematch? Like,
yeah.
Don't you feel like it is? Like, I feel like it is.
Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong about that. I'm not that excited to see Roman and Edge one-on-one at Money in the Bank. For the simple fact that I don't see Roman losing the title to Edge here. It's like, I get Roman, but the thing with Roman is the way he's built, he's not a guy that's just going to lose the title out of nowhere. If he's going to lose, right, it's going to be like a big deal, and you're going to see it coming. You know? And if you don't see it coming, it's going to be like a SummerSlam against Seth Rollins, or like somebody cashes in Money in the Bank, or like it's going to have to be like a big deal. It's not going to be at Money in the Bank against Edge. Like, it's just not. So because of the way Roman is built as champion, because he's built so strong, the run it's kind of boring because I just never believe he's going to lose. So it's hard to get lost in the matches. Like, it's hard to give a shit when you know the outcome every time. You know? It's just not that interesting for me because I know what's going to happen with Roman each and every time he goes out there. And the matches themselves are hit or miss. You know, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. And when they're not so good, like, they're pretty bad. You know, they're kind of long. That's the problem. When Roman has bad matches, they're still like 25 minutes. Like, a bad match that's 10 minutes, it's like, oh, whatever, it sucked, but it was 10 minutes. But, like, if it's bad and it's a Roman match, it's going to take a while. So it's going to be bad, and it's going to be a big chunk, and you're going to be like, why am I sitting through this? You know, he has some good matches every now and again, but it's not consistent enough. He's not a consistent enough in-ring performer where I can forgive the obvious outcome, you know, the predictable outcome. He's not a good enough in-ring performer for me to say, well, at least the match will be kick-ass. Because, you know, it might be, but it might not be. Roman Edge one-on-one. It could be good. Edge is very good. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. But he's almost 50. He's a little banged up. I don't know. Their match at Mania was really good, but Daniel Bryan was in that match. Who did Roman wrestle at Hell in a Cell? Oh, he didn't wrestle at Hell in a Cell, right? I'm trying to remember what Roman's last big... I mean, his match with Rey in Hell in a Cell on SmackDown was pretty good. You know, he wrestled Rey Mysterio. But he showed, you know, he can wrestle kind of an aging veteran and still pull off a good main event. So, you know, the match with Edge will probably be good. I think if it was a no disqualification type of match, it would be better. They could lean on some of those gimmicks to kind of get through. One-on-one, though, you know, with disqualifications, with rules and shit, I don't know, man. It could be all right, but it's not enough to get me super excited for Roman Reigns, you know? It's not enough to get me that hyped for Roman and Edge, because I want to see a match where it's like if AEW does Kenny and Hangman at their next pay-per-view in September, there's going to be serious wonder, like, is Hangman going to take it here? Is Kenny going to retain? You can see it going both ways, and you're tuning in not only because the match is going to be good, but because you're wondering what the finish is going to be. But with Roman, it's like, yeah, it'll probably be the guillotine, and it'll probably just choke him out. Edge will just, like, I can tell you what the finish is going to be. Usos fuckery, Roman wraps the guillotine, chokes Edge out, Edge maybe taps or just passes out, but he loses either way from the guillotine, and Roman walks away still champion. Like, it, you know, it's obvious.
Possibly. Like, I just feel because it's Money in the Bank.
Disagree with that finish, I dare you. Come on, man.
Well, possibly that happens to end that match, but this is Money in the Bank, and if they're main eventing and you have a cash-in later on, you have Seth Rollins try for a cash-in, Roman Reigns might not be walking out of that pay-per-view as champion.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility there. It's not Money in the Bank. A lot can happen there. It actually adds a lot of interest.
The Money in the Bank is interesting. Any chance Seth cashes in and makes it a triple threat like he did with Brock at Mania there all those years ago?
Yeah, it's funny, too, when you think about it. I think Money in the Bank was like 3 years ago. I think Seth beat Roman at Money in the Bank. And they like to repeat history, so I wouldn't put it past them. Obviously, Seth is my pick to win Money in the Bank right now. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty much saying that right now. I think Seth is probably going to win. They like to do this whole, like, you've won Money in the Bank before, well, you're going to win it again. They seem to do this a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that Seth Rollins would be the odds-on favorite to win Money in the Bank this year. He makes a lot of sense. His promo tonight was quite good, actually. I thought Seth did a very good job tonight. I thought he had match of the night and probably promo of the night, too. That Seth Rollins-Cesaro match was fantastic. What a match. That Cesaro picking up Seth in the vertical suplex. They tumble over the top rope. Seth lands on his feet and suplexes Cesaro. Like, good God almighty. Cesaro taking the exposed turnbuckle, boom, in the forehead. You saw the cut start to appear. Like, as soon as he took that for real. There's no blade job, no nothing. No bullshit there. No trickery. Just a man getting his fucking head smashed into a piece of metal, cutting it open, and just bleeding profusely. Crimson Mask of Cesaro. I don't know about you, but I think this was my favorite Seth Cesaro match. I was not excited for this match whatsoever. We'd seen it a million times.
Right.
But once we got into it, I was like, well, Cesaro could win. Cesaro could be in Money in the Bank easily, but I was like, well, Seth could win too. Seth makes sense. Mm-hmm. And the match was fucking excellent. Excellent. Guys worked their asses off, did all sorts of different shit all around the ring. Like I said, that suplex thing to the outside was crazy, but they did a lot of really cool stuff in this match. Match of the night. And Kevin Owens was on commentary, and he enhanced it as well. He was very good on commentary. He was very good. So that was my favorite part of SmackDown tonight. I don't know about you, but I thought that match was great.
Well, I thought there was a lot of low points on SmackDown, so I mean, this is probably one of the highest points on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, you look at the other matches, I don't think anything else really compared. I can't think of another match where it's like, oh, this was really good. I mean, obviously this one was the better one. Was this the best Seth versus Cesaro match? It's tough to say. I thought the WrestleMania match was pretty good too, and I never saw the Hell in a Cell match. So you'd have to tell me if that was good or not.
I don't know. I thought this one was the best one. It was all right. It wasn't memorable.
The atmosphere.
Yeah. I feel like they did more in this one. And Cesaro bled in this one, too. The blood helps.
It helps. A little bit.
You're in a fight and you bleed, you know it's serious. You know? The blood makes it serious. You watch a UFC fight, you know, a serious UFC fight where guys are really going at it. Somebody's going to get cut open at some point, you know? I thought that was really good. I thought that match was excellent. Seth Rollins qualifies for Money in the Bank. So it'll be Seth, Shinsuke Nakamura, who beat Baron Corbin, which I guess we could talk about that fucking joke of a match.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was horrible, man. Anything with Rick Boogs and Pat McAfee like playing off each other is like, Jesus. This is what we're doing now?
I have a question about that.
Yeah, all right. Well, let me just tell you who's in the Money in the Bank, then we'll get to your question, John. Question from the audience, Johnny North. Ricochet, John Morrison, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kevin Owens, King Nakamura, and Seth Rollins have all qualified now for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. It is official. And we still need 2 more from SmackDown, which we haven't got yet, which is odd. Huh. Sorry, John, go ahead.
Well, just like they did the promo before the match, Nakamura and Boggs, like, wasn't it like, or Boogs, sorry.
Boogs, not Wade Boggs, Rick Boogs.
I wish it was Boggs, to be honest. That'd be better.
I wish it was Wade Boggs. I wish it was actually Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs is still alive. Wade Boggs, by the way, great, great baseball player, legend of baseball. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Played for the Red Sox and the Yankees. 63 years of age, still alive. Very good friend of, you know which pro wrestler he's very tight with?
I feel like I've seen him on television, so I should know this, but I forgot.
You've seen him on WWE TV talking about his very good friend, the late, great Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. Mr. Perfect and Wade Boggs were very good buddies. And I think Wade Boggs maybe showed up in WCW with Kurt Hennig at some point as well. But no, it was not.
I think he was in the crowd.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta love Wade Boggs. Shout out to Wade Boggs. We love you, Wade Boggs. But this was Rick Boogs. And I don't like Rick Boogs too much. He's Nakamura's guitar player. What?
But when they came, they drove in. Like, were they driving the sidewalk? and then they just leave it there, the car. Like, did you see that?
I don't know. I think maybe that was a parking space, right? Because last week, Baron Corbin's truck got taken away by the Repo Man. The Repo Man showed up, took his truck. Not the actual Repo Man. Was he Axe or Smash?
Sadly. I think it was Axe. Pretty sure it was Axe.
I think anyways. So Axe, it wasn't Barry Darso, right? It's Barry Darso who was Repo Man, right? Do I have that right? I think I do.
I think it was very dark, so yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
I just want to make sure.
They had heat with, what's his name? The other one of Demolition. They had a lot of heat with them.
Barry Darso was Smash in Demolition, and he was also Repo Man. Ed Crusher Khrushchev, Blacktop Bully. He had heat with the not Crush, with Bill Eadie, Axe.
That's it.
They didn't like
Bill Eadie. Yeah, there was a lot of heat with them. Yeah,
there you go. So it wasn't Demolition. I wish this angle was the Repo Man versus Wade Boggs instead of Baron Corbin and Rick Boogs and all this bullshit that we have instead. So last week, Corbin's truck got repoed, and then this week, Rick Boogs and Nakamura, they seem to have bought the truck, and they got it for a good price, and Corbin's just depressed about it. Nakamura winds up beating Corbin after hitting the Kinshasa. The match was not great. Nakamura qualifies for Money in the Bank. After the match, so Pat McAfee and Big E were sitting on a couch ringside for some reason, and they were barefoot getting some sort of foot treatment and some sort of foot bath. And then after the match, Pat McAfee jumped up on the announce table and played air guitar barefoot. And at that point I said, what the fuck is this show? You know, like at that point you're like, I'm watching an ex-NFL kicker play air guitar standing on a wrestling announce table barefooted. What the fuck is this shit?
Nope.
Like, what is this show? This whole segment was horrible. Pat McAfee is not good. I don't understand what he's supposed to be. Is he a heel announcer? A babyface announcer? Are you supposed to hate him? Because he seems to buddy up with the babyfaces, but he's detestable. He's not a likable character. Are you supposed to like Pat McAfee? I legitimately don't even understand who you're supposed to like anymore. Maybe there are people that fucking like this guy, but to me, he's like this worthless fucking guy. I don't understand, man. I don't understand what people like anymore at this point. I think I can't tell who's a heel and who's a babyface because I'm so out of touch with what people actually like, what type of personalities people respect and admire.
Why not next week?
World is fucking gone fucked. Fuck Pat McAfee. Fuck Rick Boogs. Fuck the whole lot of them. Unbelievable. Except Repo Man and Wade Boggs. Respect to those guys. Respect Wade Boggs. Forever.
I think the problem was with the match. I thought the match was very sloppy. I mean, they've wrestled each other so many times, you thought it would be a better match. But, wow, like, it looked like Nakamura didn't know how to wrestle at some points. I don't know what happened to Nakamura. I don't know if, like, not trying or something, but it just looked bad. A lot of the execution, a lot of the hits, a lot of the strikes was just everything. A lot of things looked off.
He's wrestling Corbin, man.
Yeah, but, I mean, you phone it in, like, bad. You're on television. You shouldn't do that.
I mean, have you seen what they stuck him with? He has to come to the ring with Rick Boogs. This fucking guy with a guitar, this Elias ripoff. He's got an Elias ripoff. He's got the B version of Elias, and he's supposed to like play off of him like, oh yeah, I like having this guy around me. Poor Shinsuke. I would say fuck it. I'd phone it in too if I were him. I'm in my 40s. I've made my money. Who gives a shit? I gotta carry around this fucking knockoff Elias? If Elias isn't shitty enough, Elias is like a shitty honky-tonk man, and now they have a shittier version of him in Rick Boogs. It's crazy what they're doing. It's insane. Like, why would you want another Elias? A guy who can't wrestle, looks exactly like Elias, jacked like Elias, beard and hair, plays guitar shitty like Elias. I mean, what the fuck is this? It's insane. It's insane.
Right? I mean, this is what they do, though. They just copy ideas they've already done. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. Someone on Raw is going to be on SmackDown. The whole, Bray Wyatt thing, we like his character. Well, let's give him to someone else, too. They keep doing this all the time. Just, like, copy their ideas, just put on the other show.
Yeah.
Or just put on the same show, too.
Yeah. But they always have like a SmackDown version of whatever's on Raw or a Raw version of whatever's on SmackDown, whatever. It's what they do. Can't wait to see the latest NXT Women's Tag Team debut on Raw on Monday night. They bring in Shotzi and Tegan Nox. Who do you bring in from NXT for Raw? Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez? I guess you can't, right? Because Gonzalez is the champion still.
Well, I also don't think it's necessary because, like, we talked about this before in the past. The SmackDown women's roster is very thin. Like, it feels like there's barely anyone there. They needed to add someone to that roster because there was, besides like Liv Morgan, Carmella, I guess the tag champs, and the actual champ, Sasha Banks, there's really nobody. So, like, they had to add someone, and I think they needed at least a couple. So that's fine. Raw's kind of like, yeah, really need more people on the roster.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe Raw's all right. Do Shotzi and Blotzi, Tegan, do they take the final two spots for SmackDown in the Women's Money in the Bank?
Yeah, sure, because there's really nobody else. Unless Tony Storm's going to take it.
They played a promo video for her tonight. Do they debut her on Friday and then just put her in the match for Sunday? Wouldn't be a bad move. Super chat.
No, not a bad idea.
Antoinette dropping a super chat. She says, happy birthday, Johnny. Enjoy your day tomorrow. Johnny North's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Big Johnny.
Thank you.
Douglas Hepburn dropping a super chat as well. Says, good call, Antoinette. Happy birthday, Johnny.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And Douglas asking a question about some merch. He got his T-shirts, but he didn't get his tumbler cups. I don't know about that, Douglas. I'll have to look into that for you. I'll forward that question on to the production team, and we will see what we can do and see where your stuff is at. We'll get you your stuff. You can get your stuff over at merch.ringsidereport.net. Doug's talking about these tumblers right here, baby. My face on them. That's the Ringside Report team. Who says I'm not photogenic? How dare you? Get one of these over at merch.ringsidereport.net.
Who said you're not photogenic? I said that.
Some jerk in the chat was like, oh, Dave's not photogenic. And I was like, yeah, let me see your face. I mean, unbelievable. It was Mako. Mako wonders why he's my least favorite regular, And then he said he chats stuff like that. Oh, Dave's not very photogenic. What does that mean? What's that supposed to mean? Rude? Offensive? Maybe true. I don't know. You tell me, baby. You tell me. But, and Mako wonders why he's my least favorite member he's not even a member of the team. Not like Antoinette. Not like Doug. They're actually members. Mako, he's a regular. He shows up from time to time, but, Oh, but now saying...
I appreciate his opinion.
Oh, Mako
I
just
don't
got
always
some.
agree with it.
Now I feel bad for being mean to Mako because he just got some really bad news. So my condolences to you, Mako, and everything that happened. It's a bad time to shit on Mako. But he said I wasn't photogenic. I mean, it hurt my feelings, man. It's not nice. But I'm sorry about your friend there, Mako. Johnny, let's get back to it.
And what else is there to get back to on SmackDown? I guess the women's tag you're kind of talking about, sort of.
Shotzi and Tegan debuted. They beat Natty and Tamina. Uneventful match. Shotzi hit a top rope senton that totally missed Natty for the win. Not great. Not a great debut.
I wasn't sure, but I was like, yeah, I thought that missed.
Totally missed, right? Didn't connect. Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't hurt her. It didn't kill her, so that's good.
Yeah, but I mean, it's your finish and your debut. It should hit a little bit. It didn't look like it connected at all. Shotzi jumped off the top rope and took a bump, and then somehow Natty sold it and lost the match. So that's what happened there. It was a non-title match, thankfully, but I guess Shotzi and Tegan will get a title match in the future. I'm happy to see Shotzi and Tegan debut. I think that they are ready for the main roster, certainly, but I didn't think it was the best debut for them.
Well, they weren't even the team in NXT. It was Shotzi and Ember Moon. That was the team. So, like, they were just kind of put together. Like, let's just take these two from NXT, put them together. But they weren't even an actual team. So it's kind of weird that they did that. But, okay. Also, did Tamina connect on that kick? Because that kick looked like it was completely off.
I don't know. I was barely paying attention to this match. It was just, it was sloppy. It was not good.
Oh, that slingshot and super kick, that was definitely the worst thing I saw tonight. Yikes.
Yeah. It was not great.
On that.
How come Zelina wasn't on the show tonight? She comes back last week, all this stuff. She has a match with Liv Morgan. She loses. Tonight, not even on the show. I thought Zelina versus Bianca would have made sense for next week instead of Carmella, but okay, they're doing Carmella.
No, Carmella makes sense because you need it to be like a strong heel. Like Zelina just came back. Again, I don't feel like her matches, like she doesn't seem like a strong contender. Like I know she faced Asuka for the championship. I never thought she was a true threat. Carmella, again, not a strong threat, but at least she's been there consistently, and like she's been in actual title matches recently. So you can kind of get why they would go in that direction.
But she lost 2 in a row to Liv Morgan, back-to-back weeks. Why does she deserve a title shot?
Yeah, the timing's bad. Like, if anything, they should have gave the championship match to Liv Morgan, but she's a face, right? They didn't want to do face versus face because that puts them in a bad spot. But, oh, well, they weren't planning this, so that's why they're stuck with what they had. Maybe next time, don't make all your heels look weak.
Yeah, so Bayley is now gone for a good chunk of time, which really sucks because she's been, the pandemic MVP, as a lot of people are calling her, and now they're going back to live crowds next week, and she won't be there, which sucks for Bayley and sucks for the fans. Hopefully she comes back soon and healthy and back on top where she belongs. So she did a little video promo about her injury. And then Sonya Deville announced Carmella as the opponent for Bianca next week. And then Liv Morgan showed up, and she got mad at Sonya and got in Sonya's face, like, why are you doing this? And then Sonya got in her face, like, whoa, you better shut your mouth and watch your tone. And, I was about to say that you're in the Money in the Bank ladder match replacing Carmella, so shut up. And then Liv's like, oh. Liv looks like she's gonna cry when she gets told she's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Which, like, why are you crying? You deserve this. You just beat Carmella 2 weeks in a row, who's already in the match. And then when Sonya just kind of pushes her and says, shut the fuck up, Liv's like, oh, sorry. What kind of baby face is that? She looked terrible there.
Yeah, she looked bad, but Sonya looked great, though. I like Sonya doing that, though. I thought that was good for her, but you're right. Liv Morgan kind of looked really bad there. It's kind of hard to get behind Liv if she's going to be, like, she's going to be tough 1 second and then like a coward the next. So that looks really bad. And I didn't like the whole like, oh, well, when I win Money in the Bank, hopefully I cash in on you. Like, oh, Money in the Bank thing is kind of like a coward's way out to become the champion. So it just made Liv look really bad, that whole segment.
The whole segment was a mess, man. Because then Liv was a mess in that segment. It got worse. Like, yeah. Liv goes, Carmella, I hope you win next week so I could cash in on you. Okay? And then Liv, after saying that, starts to walk out. Bianca Belair comes out, having just heard Liv Morgan say, I hope you win next week, Carmella, and you beat Bianca Belair. Bianca comes out and is like, kind of like smiling at her, not mad at Liv. Liv points at the briefcase, which is hanging above the ring. I thought you only used to point at the Mania sign. Apparently you point at briefcases now. She points at the briefcase. Bianca just kind of smiles. Like they're all friends. It's all fine. Whatever. You want to fight me for my title? Oh, we're fine. It's fine. We're baby faces. We're all friendly here. And then Bianca talks about Bayley for a while, questions whether Bayley's injury is real, but she says she respects Bayley, she doesn't like her, and she looks forward to when Bayley comes back so they can finish their deal. And then she's like, oh, by the way, Carmella, I'll see you next week. See ya.
Super chat.
The Liv and Bianca interaction was really bad. Like, Liv and Bianca were way too friendly for two people that supposedly have beef. Like, Liv wants to win Money in the Bank so she could cash in. She even hopes Bianca loses next week. And Bianca's like, we're all friends here. And Liv's like, hey, Bianca, I think you're great. I'd like to be champion too. Maybe we can both be champion. Wouldn't that be not awesome, you know? That's not how it fucking works. It's crazy.
Well, I didn't take it like that. I took it more in the sense that Bianca doesn't see her as much of a threat. And I'd agree with that. I don't think she really is, in a sense, after that segment. She looked very pathetic.
Yeah. You can't believe in Liv Morgan. There's no reason to believe in Liv Morgan. They don't give you any reason. I mean, they though? They half-heartedly try.
Well, that whole thing after the Lana thing, like, they were kind of pushing her, sort of.
Sort of. They never fully commit with Liv Morgan. And, you know, I don't
why.
Yeah, I don't really blame them. Harold Schneider says, I never see the chat. My TV app doesn't show it. He watches us on his TV. Thank you, Harold. I'm fully entertained without it. Don't think I'll start now. Harold doesn't want to see the chat. It's mostly positive, Harold. And Mako knows I'm just, it's all jokes. We're joking around with Mako. Mako's a regular. We like all the regulars, everybody tuning in, watching the show all the time. We appreciate you. Each and every one of you, even if, you might like Johnny more than me, that's fine. At least you're watching. Harold super chatting. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate you. You are the super chat leader of the night so far.
It's mainly don't insult Dave. That's the main thing. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't insult me. I mean, it's kind of mean to say, like, oh, Dave's ugly. It's like, come on, man. What do you mean?
It's not nice.
Oh, it's rude.
Be nice.
Yeah. Come on. Anyways, I'm just joking around. What else do we have here on SmackDown? Did anything else happen? I think we're done. Show over. Good night.
That's what happens when you have a show that recaps practically like half of the show all the time. It was kind of quick.
I started watching SmackDown at 8:45. By the end of the show, I was caught up. I skipped through recaps and entrances and all sorts of bullshit, and it only took me an hour and 15 minutes to watch SmackDown. Pretty good, eh?
That's why it doesn't feel like you really watched 2 hours. Because, I mean, you really didn't watch 2 hours. It's really maybe an hour, a couple minutes. That's about it.
Yeah, it was about an hour. It took me like an hour and 15 minutes. Like, I literally started watching at 8:45. I saw the whole show. I missed nothing. I skipped through commercials and entrances and, video packages of like, this happened 2 weeks ago. It's like, I know, I watched 2 weeks ago. I'm good. Bup, 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 bup. Skip, skip, skip. And 8:45 by 10 o'clock, fully caught up. And I was there at the end. Saw everything. Missed nothing. Edge at the end of the show called out Roman Reigns. Roman told his cousins to stay back. Roman came out, and then the Usos decided to go out with him. And then Roman seemed mad that they disobeyed. So then he goes into the ring and brawls with Edge by himself. Rey and Dominic Mysterio show up, and they start attacking the Usos. And then Roman escapes while Edge and the Mysterios beat up on the Usos. Edge does his crossface thing with the chair piece, the chair rod there in the Usos' mouth. Did it to Jay, did it to Jimmy, as Dominic and Rey kind of held the Usos down while Roman just watched from the stage. And that was the kind of last segment there of SmackDown.
Well, it kind of threw off what I said to start the show because we saw Jimmy Uso start the show, right? So I thought, like, well, he's going to be left laying by the end of this. It was Jay instead, really. But, close enough.
Are you surprised that Jimmy Uso, after his latest arrest, is on SmackDown tonight? This guy was arrested on July
Monday or
5th.
Tuesday?
Yeah, Monday. Arrested in Pensacola, 10:35 Monday night. He ran a red light. He was clocked at going 50 in a 35 zone. He failed a breathalyzer. His blood alcohol came back at .202 and .205, which is well above Florida's limit of .08. He was booked on the misdemeanor DUI charge and citations for speeding and running a red light. I guess he's going to have to have a court date at some point. I don't know what he's facing, but this isn't the first time with this guy. This is many times throughout several years. He was first arrested, Jonathan Fatu, a.k.a. Jimmy Uso, first that we know of, in September 2011, charged with a DUI. And then in 2013, he was arrested again for violating his probation by driving with a suspended license. January 2018, he was arrested for DWI in Texas. February
that was with Naomi, right?
No, that was a separate incident.
No.
That's January 2018 in Texas. February 2019, he was arrested in Michigan following a dispute with police when he, his brother, and Trinity, Jimmy's wife, a.k.a. Naomi, their car was pulled over after driving the wrong way on a one-way street. Police say when they approached the vehicle, they could smell alcohol. They requested that Trinity, Naomi, exit the car so they could talk to her. And then the officers claimed that Jimmy Uso then exited the vehicle while the officers were speaking to her and took his shirt off and started walking towards them. One of the officers had to pull out his taser to kind of hold him back. He was placed under arrest and charged with disorderly conduct and obstruction of justice. But he struck a plea deal, pleading no contest, and he had to pay a fine. Then in July 2019, okay, this is another one. Several incidents. Wow. He was arrested again with a DUI in Pensacola, taken into custody. He was released on bond, but he was found not guilty by a jury on the DUI charge after a trial later that year. So somehow he was arrested for a DUI at some point in 2019, and then he was found not guilty of that DUI. I don't know how that happens. Isn't there a breathalyzer? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But, I mean, charged with a DUI in 2011, a DWI in 2018, another arrest with alcohol involved in 2019, another DUI arrest later that year, And then here again in 2021, another DUI arrest for Jonathan Fatu, a.k.a. Jimmy Uso, who was on SmackDown tonight.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think someone needs to go to rehab because this is one too many times. Like, he's got a problem, a serious problem.
Yeah.
Like, he needs help. I don't know if WWE, like, they should do something about it because it's not good. You can't let this keep happening. I know that they've said in the past, too, where it's like, all the wrestlers are responsible for themselves kind of thing, but it's like, this keeps happening. Like, someone's got to step in here.
I mean, clearly nothing's going to happen. Nothing's happening.
Oh, well.
Like, he took a beating from Edge last week. If they wanted to suspend him, they could have and written him off with the Edge beating last week. They could have done that. They could have suspended him. I mean, they're not going to fire him.
Right.
He's an Uso. You know, he's one half of one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Plus, he's cousins with Roman. And, you know, he's involved in one of the biggest angles in WWE right now. So he's not getting fired. He could get suspended for a couple weeks without pay or something. Like, they could do something, but they choose to do nothing. They punish him in no way that we could tell. He's still on TV. He's going back on the road. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a wise move to allow Jimmy Uso to just appear on SmackDown tonight. Like nothing happened. After, you know, if it was one or two times, but it's just a pattern of behavior over the past 10 years. 5, 6 arrests here for drunk driving related charges. Like, it's not good, man.
No, it's not. Like, they need to do something about it. Like, maybe they are doing something about it. We just don't know about it. So hard to really comment on that. But hopefully they are doing something. Like, I think they actually need to do something because it's bad if this just keeps happening.
But what could they possibly be doing? Right? I mean, he's still on TV, so they have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not suspended.
Right.
They're not sending him to rehab because he's still on TV. So, I mean, it doesn't appear as though they're doing anything. It really doesn't.
Well, at the very least, make sure that he's not driving the shows. Someone else is driving him at least.
It's irresponsible, man. It's not cool, you know, because you're not just putting your own life at risk. You're putting others, you know. Innocent people die all the time from drunk drivers. When you do stuff like that, you know, it's a very selfish thing to do, very irresponsible thing to do. He's a grown man. You know, you want to talk about mistakes when you're younger. Okay, you know, he's 34 years old. 10 years ago, he's 24, he's a WWE superstar. Maybe you could say, hey, he's a kid, he's making mistakes. But over the years now, he's 34 years old. He's got kids. I don't even know how many kids. I know he's got a couple, at least.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's got a couple of kids. Yeah.
It's all with Naomi? Really? Wow.
Yeah. No. It's not Naomi didn't have kids with him.
Oh.
Yeah. Has Naomi taken time off to be pregnant in the past, like, however many years she's been in WWE, John? Did you miss Naomi at some point?
Time off.
Huh?
She has disappeared. She has disappeared a couple times, to be honest.
I think if Naomi was pregnant, you would have heard about it. She's been in WWE pretty regular since 2009. I don't know when she would have had time to have 2 of Jimmy Uso's children. However, it's from a previous relationship. Jonathan has 2 kids. He's got 2 kids. He's a grown man. He needs to do better. So, very disappointed to see him arrested again. And, of course, WWE isn't going to do anything. Rob Van Dam got arrested for having weed in his car, and they fucking took everything from him. Jimmy Uso gets arrested for DUI, and it's like, what are you going to do? You know? Antoinette
I
says,
hope they do something.
Yeah. Antoinette says he needs help. This is serious. He will kill himself or someone else someday. I agree. Douglas Hepburn dropping a super chat saying, Nick and I can't wait for McGregor tomorrow. I can't wait either. That's when I will see you again tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, for the UFC 264 watch along. We're going to be watching Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. If you want to get set up for that, watch our preview show on the channel. We did a whole preview for UFC 264 last night on Ringside Report MMA. You could check that out right now, right here on the Ringside Report Network. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're planning a trip to Las Vegas, book it at vegas.ringsidereport.net. Book with Caesars. Of course, the home of WrestleMania 9, Caesars. Book with Caesars and the Ringside Report Network for your next trip to Las Vegas, where Conor and Dustin will be fighting tomorrow night. Go to vegas.ringsidereport.net. And just go to ringsidereport.net overall, because we have all the things, all the podcasts, all the shows right there. Big happy birthday to today to my main man, Alfred Garcia. Baby Alfred, 1 year old, Freddie's boy, Baby Alf. And then, of course, big happy birthday to my other main man, the big man, El Gigante, Super Johnny, El Contador, Johnny North. Tomorrow, Big Johnny's birthday. Happy birthday, Johnny.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We were wondering that, too. We thought it was the same days, but apparently, I guess, just 1 day apart.
Yeah, 1 day apart. 1 day apart. And we'll be going to, I'll be going to Alfred's birthday party on Sunday. You having a birthday party, John? That you're not inviting me to?
No, I just turn my phone off, turn off everything, and don't talk to anybody. It's great. It's fantastic. It was great last year.
That's how you celebrate your birthday. Didn't I text you last year, or didn't I drop by or something? I must have spoken to you last year on your birthday.
I think maybe you left something on my door, and I didn't answer. That was about it.
All right. Well, that's
you remember that? I remember that.
I think I do remember that. I do remember that. All right, we'll be back here tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern for UFC 264. Shout out to everybody watching. Thank you to Doug Hepburn and Nick out in Kingston. They are the Super Chat leaders of the night. Thank you as well to Antoinette, to Harold Schneider. Drop in the Super Chats tonight. Very much appreciated supporting the Ringside Report Network. Become a member of the team. And, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying up late with us, Anthony, out in England. And we will see you again tomorrow night for the Conor McGregor fight.